Happy Sunday morning, everybody. And it's race day. I will see you all in a little bit over there at World Wide Technology Raceway for the NASCAR Cup Series race. Race number 2 in the playoffs. And how about that? Your favorite driver, Denny Hamlin, quick time on the pole. And wow, what a comeback for Kyle Larson after a tough week for all the Hendrick cars down there at Darlington. Big rebound, qualified second. And he will be on Kenny Wallace Live with John Roberts and myself. And third, how about that? Chase Briscoe. And he will be on Kenny Wallace Live with John Roberts. And qualifying fourth, Ross Chastain. And he will be on Kenny Wallace Live with John Roberts. I looked at that lineup and I said, damn, we got lucky. I want to thank Chris Blair, general manager at World Wide Technology. He lined those drivers up, and I believe that's the first time we will have ever had on, we call it Trackside Live everywhere else, but here, my hometown, they call it Kenny Wallace Live. I was shy. I said, oh, you don't got to call it Kenny Wallace Live, but okay. John Roberts and myself, we have a good time doing the show. We're going to have the Towel Man from the St. Louis Blues get us started. Going to throw some shirts out, get that sports music going. Hey, breaking news in the garage area. Brother Rusty, champion, winner, he's going to be there. That's going to be exciting. And, of course, the Cajun Cook, Audrey DeSell, the Cajun Cook up from Arkansas, over 1 million followers on Instagram. He's going to be on Kenny Wallace Live. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll see you all over there. We're going to start at 10 o'clock. It's going to be exciting. How about that Xfinity race last night? Connor Zilisch, 9 wins. I mean, this kid is unbeatable. Okay, but I saw something funny when I saw the rundown. Connor Zilisch, follow me with the last name. Zilisch wins the race. Salowich finished second. Man, that's a lot of itch. Drivers 1 and 2 in the finish last night in the Xfinity race. Their letters, their last names end with ISCH. Zilisch, Salowich. That's a mouthful of itch. Man, oh man, that's awesome. Leave it up to the weird people like me, the ADD people. It's like, damn, look at those last names. Zilisch, Salowich. Just when I was thinking about, salads, I looked at the last part of that name and itch. All right, enough of that. Okay, I want to thank the complete town of Arnold, Missouri. They came out to watch me race last night, Saturday night. So I call it the 24 hours of Peevely. Owner Josh Carroll had this great idea to make it 3 days of qualifying for $10,000 to win. So we qualified good, ran second in our heat race. But when the qualifying feature came along, a pretty decent runner, he spun out in front of me. And I got into him, flattened my tire, bent my front end. I had to pull off the track. Well, I got depressed and I thought, well, maybe I'll just quit. Maybe I'll just quit the whole sport. I thought, oh, shit. Then my son-in-law, Brody, he said, I'm going to get everything back together for you. I'm going to fix your car. Well, it inspired me. That's all it took. Brody inspiring me. Fast forward. We get to the racetrack on Saturday, and everybody started gathering around the race car. And other race teams, crew members, they said, where's Brody, the man that helped you get your car back together? I said, he's right there. Because Brody was right next to me. And Brody was running good in his car. He runs a different division than me. Brody was running good, and they got into it, and he ended up getting in the wall a little bit, but he was fast. Anyway, that man said to me, he looked me right in the face, and he said, Kenny Wallace, you can't quit. And the next thing he said to me humbled me. And I don't think of myself as nobody. But he looked at me and he said, this whole pit area races because you do. You know how many kids look up to you? You're Kenny Wallace, man. You can't quit. Straighten my up right away. I never really realized how many young kids look up to me because I'm an old man. I'm 62. They saw me on TV, doing TV, and they come out dirt tracks, and I run good. I'm not too embarrassed to say I do run good. I might not win a lot, but I challenge for the win. So here's the rest of the story. Like Paul Harvey would say, I went through the qualifier. I started 5th. Didn't run too good. I got to 4th. So we qualified for the race. Started 18th. I went back to the pit area and I said, I didn't like the way my car felt. So the family come running out of the grandstands. I had about 20 people. They loved me so much, and I had to focus. So I had the grandbabies. I had all my friends from Arnold, about 20 people. And I said, focus, Kenny, focus. Gave them all a little love. And then I pulled a shock out of the left rear. Took it off. Put a new shock on the left rear, different valving. And when it come time for the A-main, when it come time for the money, remember yesterday I said, I'm coming from the back and I'm going to be on elbows because I was determined. I did a little adjusting, but changed that left rear shock, started 18th, and methodically ran the high side. Then I found me a lane, entered high, and then right in the middle, I turned that car, I come down the hill. I cleared a couple cars, and then out of nowhere, I said, I think I'll try the bottom. Of the racetrack. I tried the bottom one lap, and passed 4 cars in one corner. Got all the way up to like 3rd or 4th. For 10 grand a win. The caution came out. We finished 6th. There's the legend. We finished 6th. A lot of people are big fans of Louis. They're like, where's Louis? I said, he's a boy. He roams the property. You got to leave the front door open. Leave the front door open. Here's Louis has trained me. If you don't leave the front door open, he'll be wanting to go out. So you just leave it open, and he gets it out of his system. In, out, in, out, in, out. Then he finally wears himself out. Now, when we do coffee with Kenny in the winter, it's too cold outside. So that's Louis usually sits up there in the winter when we have the fire going on. Okay, I better get my ass in the shower. I'm headed over to World Wide Technology Raceway. We run 6th last night, but the bigger story was I overcame a piss poor start to the week. All right, everybody. See you soon.